Hey everyone, I'm Adam Johnson. This is the NFA Review channel, and this is the new Rugged Suppressors Radiant 762. So a big happy new year to all you guys out there. We are kicking it off in style with a brand new product from Rugged. So just starting back at the beginning, Rugged and my channel have gone back pretty far. I was with them since the inception of the launch of their company, and they've even attended my shooting events back when they were little tiny shooting events that aren't the big spectacle that they are now. So big kudos for them for their growth, and a big thank you to them for trusting me with the product launch of the new Radiant 762. If you guys want to actually demo this can in person, they will be attending my next shooting event on March 2nd at the 4th annual NFA Review Shoot out in Leesburg, Florida. Go to this URL below, you can read up on it and RSVP to attend. So that's gonna be really cool to hear in person. So let's go ahead and cover the specifications on it, and then we'll see what makes it different from their other products in their lineup. So without further ado, let's get to it. So we go out to the range and see what she sounds like. All right, now before we get started into the specs, again, I just want to reiterate that I'm actually filming this a couple weeks before launch, so it's early December right now as we're filming. Zach with Rugged flew down so we can go ahead and get these scenes shot, get this thing reviewed for you guys on launch day. So we don't have all of the stuff that yours at home would come with. So, you know, we have the tube, but of course they're waiting on the, you know, packaging, decal, manual, stuff like that. Of course, yours will ship with that. And moving on, anytime I mention, you know, full and short, I'm talking about the suppressor setup in its full length versus its shorter length without the front module on it. That being said, let's go ahead and roll right into the specifications. In its full length, it comes in at 7.5 inches with a overall weight of 12.5 ounces, which is really light for this whole setup I have here in my hand. I mean, it feels like nothing, and it's a rifle can. Without the front module on, so in the shorter configuration, comes in an overall length of 5.1 inches and an overall weight of 9.4 ounces. Has a diameter of 1.5 inches, and then the whole suppressor is finished in a high temperature black Cerakote. Now let's go ahead and kind of like break down the whole system here. So in the front, this is 17.4 stainless collar. Okay, so as you can see, it's changed a little bit. I'll grab my old Surge here, and you can see where the collar has had material removed from it, and that is, of course, to save weight. So the little increase in machine time, little decrease in weight savings, because the name of the game with this can is weight savings. Moving on, we have a new design here on the front half of the blast area on the tube. Speaking of tube, the tube itself is grade 5 titanium, and this is sleeved over a solid welded core of Stellite baffles. And then the front module is actually tubeless and is all constructed of grade 5 titanium. So that's all welded to each other to create a tube and baffle stack. Now you're probably asking why they did that. Well, that's a couple reasons. One, they wanted this area to be protected because your serial number here is on this raised, stronger area of the tube. As you can see here, they machined away all unnecessary material to save weight, but maintaining integrity here. Should something happen to your suppressor, you'll see these two weld lines here on the tube. They can actually cut everything away, take that section and re-weld it onto a whole new system, so your tack stamp is protected. And it is heavier. Well, if you have more of the weight of this unit towards the muzzle, it'll actually feel lighter as you swing the unit around, because this front half with the titanium module just doesn't really add any weight at all. You can't even feel it on the end of the gun. And again, it is full auto rated with a nice high temperature black Cerakote finish. So really clean looking can. And I'm moving to the front, you'll see a silver looking front cap that is actually grade 5 titanium that has been anodized, and then after anodization they coated it in Teflon. So that's to help remove it should you have like a long firing schedule in between removing it, so it'll break free really easy, so you could change the length. Speaking of which, change the length is very simple. Any of you guys out there that have already seen my old Surge video, just unscrew the front module, grab your front cap removal tool, or if you have multiple end caps from your other cans, the face of another end cap will actually interlock with the cuts on the end cap. So that's pretty neat. So there are multiple ways to remove this if you're out in the field. But just for ease of filming, I'll use their front cap removal tool, get it nice and loose there. Once you have that off, this is obviously all captive. Beautiful looking grade 5 titanium baffle stack. And again, since this is all one unit, there is no tube. Don't have to worry about anything sliding out. And then here's a look at the inside of the Stellite baffle stack. This thing is built like a brick. It feels very substantial. And go ahead and throw the end cap in here. So now we've just shortened it from 7.5 inches down to 5.1 inches and dropped a couple ounces. So feels really good in the hand. Go ahead and tighten the front cap on so you guys can kind of see what this looks like in its shorter length. And then I'll go ahead and hold it up next to the older Razor. So the Razor is, I don't have their Micro 30. I do need to do a review on that for them. Oh, it actually balanced up there. But that's its size in the short configuration to the older Razor 762. So, and of course you can see the differences between the collars here. So really nice setup. I like the fact that they designed it for two different platforms. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, why do they use titanium here and Stellite here? Well, they wanted to be full auto rated. They wanted the weight towards the muzzle, and they wanted this can to be so versatile, it makes sense to use it on a 300 Blackout, like I have here, this PWS 300 Blackout that Zach brought with him. Very beautiful gun. In fact, PWS just sent me an email last night, and we're going to be working together on basically a review on this, but in 5.56. So pretty coincidental that he actually had one. So you can actually use this on a 300 Blackout, right? And it'll make sense because it's short and stubby, and you got all the weight back here, which didn't really add much weight at all. And if you want to be uber duper quiet in your backyard shooting 300 Blackout subs, you can just add the front module on there. But I actually prefer it in the shorter configuration. Which leads me to my next talking point, is their new short muzzle brake. So again, they wanted to save as much as they could on the weight. So actually, compared to the flash hider version of the mount, they shaved the whole ounce off here. Now this is their muzzle brake. I think they're still trying to come up with a name with it. I'm just going to call it the Shorty. You can see here it has an open-ended design on the muzzle. And I was really happy to see that, because you know, when the name of your company is Rugged Suppressors, then you probably want to build something pretty rugged that's going to last. Something I've seen a lot lately, especially on cans that I use because they have high volume of rounds through them, is the blast effect and etching of the face of one of the chambers and a muzzle brake. Basically, on a shorter barrel, the burn time on the powder is not sufficient, so you have hot sandblasting powder hitting the inside face of the chamber of a muzzle brake. Well, what happens is over time it actually cones it out, and eventually that front face will fail. And if it fails as a bullet's going through there, you're going to have a catastrophic failure of your suppressor as the projectile hits a piece of that metal and blows apart inside the suppressor. I'll actually throw some B-roll up here of my old AAC M4 2000 that has like 50,000 plus rounds through it, and that muzzle brake's shot completely to hell. Matter of fact, I need to just not use it anymore until I can replace that mount because it's about ready to fail. So we're really nice not to see a face on that. It's not needed, and they got porting at 360 degrees here. So definitely don't want to shoot prone with this. So, and again, you have the taper lock that they're known for. So the same taper lock that interfaces with the inside of the blast chamber here, keeping this can from going anywhere. One of the improvements that I would like to see, you know, this is just me testing and evaluating their product. That's what I do. I already talked to him on the phone today about the possibility of adding some knurling here on this dead space of the collar, because my shooting experience with the Surge that I have and the razor is sometimes when your hands get sweaty, you might not have shooting gloves on, or you might have shooting gloves on and they don't have like a rubberized area on your pointer finger and thumb. It's hard to unlock this collar sometimes, I've found out. So, you know, it'd be nice to see a little like square patch of knurling here, maybe really fine knurling with a little French cut around it, make it look good. Of course, anytime you're talking about machine time, you're talking about increasing time to make it, increasing cost, increasing tool wear, and they're trying to keep this under the $1,000 mark. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it or if it even works well, but that was some feedback I gave them today. I'm going to send Zach back with my old Surge 762, Old Faithful here, and I'm actually kind of grown tired of my old burnt bronze finish. That fad has now died out, and I'm going to send this back to get recoated in black, so maybe I'll have them use mine as a test bed. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'll come back with some knurling on it. Moving on, decibel readings. Remember guys, I mean, they're literally at the factory right now still testing numbers for this can as I'm here filming it in my studio, but some numbers that we already got back are at ear in the long configuration 133, and then at ear in the short configuration 139 on a 20-inch barrel 308 bolt gun. And then so far we have the long at ear of 126 on a 9-inch barrel 300 blackout. I think it was this one they recorded earlier in the week. So full length at ear 300 blackout with Hornady black. I think that's what, 208 grain ammo, subsonic, metered in at 126. And then moving on to the rifle at ear, you got short 139 and then 133 in the long configuration. So hearing safe at the ear. The at muzzle numbers were a little higher, which tells you, of course, that it is a low back pressure suppressor, which is pretty much what everybody is doing these days, trying to design these things to be less corked up, so it's more pleasant as a shooter. It is a little louder, you know, watching it being shot, but being on the gun, it's much more enjoyable experience. And of course, if you have a direct impingement setup, you're not going to be overrunning your gun and having to tune it with springs and different buffer weights and stuff like that. So it's really nice to see there. And again, I don't know if you caught that, but they're trying to stay at below the $1,000 mark. So the last rifle review video I filmed, I mentioned that. I mentioned that a lot of these suppressor companies are starting to price their rifle cans at that sub $1,000 mark, which is extremely hard to do given what's going on here. I mean, if you're talking just the raw materials and then the machine time and then the weld time and then the tool wear and employee costs and insurance and lease on the building, I mean, to create a can like this in the production volume they are at under $1,000 is pretty incredible. You know, it's always funny to hear a newcomer to the NFA world complain about the price of a rifle can. Oh, it's $900. Well, when you really break down what's going on here and the types of machines they're using to get these welds and to get these beautiful finishes, a product that will last generations upon generations you can pass down to your family, it's really quite incredible that they can get it at under $1,000. So it's a good time to be a suppressor buyer in today's market, guys. You guys are definitely getting on board at the right time. And yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything in the studio. Zach brought a couple guns. I mentioned this one earlier, so let's bring this one to the range. This is a 300 blackout 9-inch barrel. That's going to sound really cool. And then he brought some precision bolt guns chambered in 308. So we'll kind of get, we have a lot to do here. We got to get, you know, sound comparisons in the full and short length on each host. So it's going to take a little longer than you guys are used to seeing, but this is a product that you guys, I'm sure, want to see or are interested in buying. So without further ado, let's go ahead, hit that range, and see what she sounds like. Well, the gun's not set up to run unsuppressed. Oh well, let's throw a can on it. literally all you can hear is the spring in here, bouncing back and forth. That sounds great. I just didn't pull it hard enough. Wow. That sounded really good. Little first round pop, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Woo, she's heavy.
Darn.
Not bad for offhand, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, it sounds really good actually. I like it. All right, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed today's review. It was a little longer than usual, but we had a lot to cover. Some shooting notes, some talking points here. On the 300 Blackout SBR, definitely sounded great with the short version. Threw the long version on, and it was quieter, obviously, but it was negligible. And for me, it's much nicer to be able to like throw the gun around. I would just run it in the shorter version. It was fine. I mean, if you're gonna do some backyard shooting and you need like maximum quiet, then you can throw that on there, the front module. As far as the bolt gun at 300 Blackout, sounded great. This can exhibits very minimal first round pop. It's not an explosion, but it is a noticeable difference between shots 1 and 2. And then subsequent shots sound the same. So the Bolt 300 Blackout sounded good. And then the 308, interesting thing there. With the shorter version, Zach told me he is their sponsor PRS shooter, that he runs the short version during a competition because it's easier to get the can in and out of a barricade quickly. And since they're all running earplugs anyway, since they're beside other shooters that are running unsuppressed guns, it helps mitigate the blast concussion in the barricade area while you're still using plugs, and it helps reduce the recoil a little bit. He said basically that's what he does, and then when he gets home and he's shooting for fun, he just throws the front module on, which brings me to my next talking point. The front module is titties on the 308. We were shooting in my truck bed prone for the downrange shots because the profile shots, as you saw here, that gun gets a little front heavy, and I was building massive left-sided bicep issues. So shooting prone in an enclosed truck bed. The muzzle was past my tail lights, but usually that's pretty uncomfortable to do all day. I can shoot that 308 with full power ammo with the full length setup on that can all day without ears in comfortably. It was a really enjoyable experience. So we didn't bring any full auto lowers out here for you guys today. We were limited on ammo. I shot through all the ammo I had left from Discreet Ballistics, so I will be contacting them to send out another case so we can use it in the reviews. That stuff sounds really, really good. It's pretty comparable to Hush now that we don't have access to Hush anymore because Freedom Munitions is no longer in business. We have to find the next best thing, and that is Discreet Ballistics. Matter of fact, I metered it at the IV88 shoot with Chad. We were just screwing around there if you guys watched that video from that range day, and it was very comparable to the Hush ammo that I had with me. So really good stuff. Well, that concludes today's video, guys. If you guys want to hear this in person, you need an RSVP for the shoot, you can go to my Facebook page and then go to events, or go to nfareviewshoot.com for the March 2nd event. Rugged Suppressors will be there, and you can shoot the Radiant in person. Until next time, click that like and subscribe button, and check out Patreon because we're giving away gift cards and suppressors every month. See you next time. You. We're trying to film here, damn it. Get away. Oh my God. Go. Shoo. Shoo, cow. Oh my God. Okay. They never come out here either. I don't know what you want. I'm trying to film. I think they want to go see those cows. You want to go see those cows over there? You need to stay away from me and my truck. Okay. Zach, we're surrounded, buddy. Okay, here. Okay, I'll take this. You keep going. F***ing go. No. Just attacking the cow. You might want to grab those guns, dude. We're about to eat a fresh hamburger for lunch.